Jimmy, then Ryan.
Rick, what's your confidence level in Zakai Zeigler and the way he played at Alabama?
Are those new glasses?
Yes.
They look good on you. They look really good. You get that for Christmas?
I did, yeah.
No. How'd they do that? You go get them fit, or they just took a guess?
Amazon.
Amazon. Well, you did good. You know, a lot of confidence in Zakai because one thing we know, he's going to do what he does every day in practice. You know, what you see him do during the game, that's what he does every day. And, you know, he's fearless. He's going to go at it. I think he's a player that, you know, he's able to let mistakes roll off of him real quick and keep competing. But when you play as hard as he plays, and really he tries to get at it every possession on both ends, and that is what coaches want, and that gives you a great deal of confidence because when you got a guy like that, you realize that he's giving you everything he's got, and that's why you want him out there.
Do you like point guards that are fearless?
Absolutely, they have to be in so many different ways, and you know where they've got a tough job because defensively they're asked to do a lot. They're going to get hit a lot, especially in today's game with a lot of ball screens, and then you're expecting them to run your offense for you. I mean, it's a lot that you're putting on him, and he's done really a terrific job for getting in here a week after school started and picking up the system. But we had a day off yesterday, and I came over and walked into Pratt, and he was up in the gym with one of the coaches working on his own. That's the kind of person he is, the kind of player he is. We keep telling him what he's got to do to get better, and he's up there working at it even on his own time, above and beyond what we ask him to do.
Coach, how much confidence do you think your guys gained for Tuscaloosa last week, playing a game like that without perhaps your best backcourt, best frontcourt player being in it for 4 minutes?
Well, Rob, I think the key was we didn't, you know, once those guys went down, we didn't mention to them like, hey, you know, we don't. I mean, we really do have a mentality that we're going to, what we have, we can go play, and we believe it today. We with the group we had, we could have won the game, and but you know, once those guys, you know, we found out they weren't going to play. We didn't make a big deal about it. We said, okay, we're putting our game plan in. This is what we're going to do, and we went in fully expecting to win, and knowing that some guys were. We've seen it happen. You know, the one thing as a coaching staff we talked about was, you think back to last year at the game with Vanderbilt over there. Remember they had 2 players that didn't play, Pippen and DeSuze, and how well they played because the guys that didn't get an opportunity as a coaching staff. And again, I think that every guy we've recruited, we believe in them, and we just know that yes, some of them are still learning what it's all about. But overall, the work they put in, and when they were given an opportunity, I thought everybody did a pretty good job with it.
Ben, Mike, and Craig.
Against Arizona, you were kind of able to throw the ball towards the end, and obviously didn't have them against Alabama. Do you feel like the guys that were on the court kind of executed okay, just missed shots, or were they kind of searching?
Well, when we were up 6, we had 3 bad possessions in a row. Took 2 quick shots in transition that we shouldn't have taken from the 3 where we weren't balanced, and had a mid-range shot that we should have kicked out. And that was a time when Santi wasn't in the game too, where I think he would have controlled it a little bit more in terms of. But those 3 possessions to us as a staff was the biggest 3 possessions in the game. Even though coming down the end, you know, you got to give them credit for scoring the way they did at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. And we had 2 breakdowns. We had one in the zone late, and we had a ball screen breakdown. But I still, when we had them down there, those 3 possessions when we didn't really work the game the way we should have, was really where we let it get away from us.
Rick, have you changed anything with meetings or the way that you're structuring things, just with trying to prevent COVID from spreading around your team?
No, not really. You know, we went through that a year ago, and it was really difficult. And again, you know, our guys have done a good job. They last couple of days, I think 3 or 4 days ago, they all went and got booster shots and all that. But no, we're trying to do what we've done up to this point. What we need We just need to make sure our guys know when they walk out of this building, they make good decisions on where they go and things they do, and because all that's going to can in some way affect us if you put yourself in a position where you're exposed to a lot of people that you don't know, and that's where we've got to be really thinking about where we are in today's time and everything that's going on with COVID. But that's what we got to ask them to do, to make good decisions when they walk out of this building.
Rick, when you watch film of the second half, what did Urosh do to build on, and where does he need to get better?
Well, he did a really good job. He worked his tail off on the boards, and he did the same thing running our break. He tried to get down, and he was a guy who created a lot of angles for Zakai, mostly getting in there, but he played hard, and there's a great example. I think the more he plays and the more that he will do what we want him to do, especially when he gets the ball, and if he'll continue to get more consistent on ball screen defense, he's got to be a factor around the rim, whether it's, we're not asking him to block a lot of shots, we're asking him to put himself in position to affect shots, whether it's taking a charge or going straight up with two hands up and making guys score over him. But those are the areas that he needs to improve in.
Jimmy, Mike, and Rob.
Rick, who do you think is your best three-point shooter, the guy that you want taking the three late in the game?
Well, I mean, you look at numbers. I would say this to you, Jimmy. We talked about our shooting percentages right now, and we tried to show the guys the difference in a good shot and a bad shot in terms of balance. I can tell you this. Santi obviously is a guy that can shoot the basketball, but he's being guarded harder than anybody on the court. Zakai's a guy that can really shoot it. If you went out there every day and had a shooting contest, I mean, those two guys would be right there. Josiah is a guy that when he has his balance and he shoots rhythm shots, I think he's a 44% three-point shooter. And but when he's forcing it, not balanced, I mean, that's where he is right now. But after we showed him that the very next day in practice, I think he was 6 out of 8 from the three-point line, because he was taking just smooth rhythm shots. And Justin Powell, same thing, if he gets his feet under him. I mean, I think we've got guys that can shoot, and I think one of the reasons that our percentages aren't what they need to be, we haven't taken those shots the way that we practice them. We off balance, not doing our work early, anxious because you haven't made one, and I got to make one. It's a lot of the mental side to it. Olivier's a terrific shooter, but you can tell in the game when he gets anxious, he misses one, and he says, "Well, I got to make the next one," and it doesn't have to be that way. And but that's a part of some of these guys being out there for the first time. But I think we've got guys that can shoot the ball. But if you ask me at the end who would we set plays up for, I think it would depend on the game and who's being guarded by who.
Rick, how has Deshaun Ruffin changed some things that Ole Miss does offensively since he returned? Is this kind of a classic Kermit Davis team defensively so far?
Well, Kermit does. He's a terrific coach, and he does a really good job mixing his defenses. From his man to his back to his 1-3-1, 2-3. He's always changing things up, trying to keep you out of rhythm, keep you off balance, and working the game. And last year down there, they they went to their 1-3-1, basically putting 3 guys on the ball, trying to trap it, getting very aggressive, and we didn't handle it very well. And with all that said and done, we were that night. I think we were not very good from the free throw line, and we were getting the ball at places that we wanted, but we couldn't get anything done with it. And Kermit does a terrific job. He's going to work hard at getting his players in a position to give them a chance to be successful. But if you look at his teams over the past, he's been consistent with his man defense, his 1-3-1 back to a 2-3, or mixing it up. Maybe on a missed shot he'll go man, on a made he might go straight 2-3. Out of timeouts he can go 1-3-1, get it to the baseline. It kind of rolls into a 2-3, but they can stay with it too, as they did a year ago with the 1-3-1.
Coach, we ask you about it all the time. For Justin to get more playing time, is it just defense?
It's yes. We Rob, we've got a really high standard, and here's what I try to get all those guys to understand. We go in that film room, and when you're watching us play on film, when we're sitting in there as a team, it's difficult for a player to watch that sometimes, because you know what? It's not me, it's just the film showing it to them. Hey, you know, you're watching 2 or 3 guys out there maxing out other guys, and it's not just Justin. I mean, there was plays that we showed last game where Zakai, as hard as he plays, you know, maybe didn't get done what he needed to get done on possession, or Santi on a block out. So nobody's perfect, but what we're trying to get to is we're trying to get as many guys on the same page as possible. And the biggest thing is that they understand that we're in a possession league if teams are playing well. I mean, you think about it, we've played 3 games where it's been a possession, we're 1 and 2 in those games. And you go back to the both of those games, we had pretty good looks to maybe win the game or put us up. And so getting guys to understand that every possession matters is a big thing. And it can happen, like I said, when we were up 6, 3 straight bad possessions on offense. Same thing on defense. You come down, you know, you score a basket, you get back, you give up 2 straight baskets because you don't get the right angle on defense. And again, I'm not just talking about Justin. I could be talking about anybody on our team. But it's about consistency. It's about who can we rely on at certain different times. And we got to take all the guys. They've got to do a better job making decisions with their passes some. But I just know that Justin's we need him. We need him in a big way. But we need them all to be ready, because who knows with where we are this year with the COVID. You see it. We've seen it happen. We've got to have everybody ready to play.
Finish up with Jimmy.
Rick, do you think that there could be a benefit down the road from you going to Alabama and playing without your point guard and that focus? And do you see that perhaps down the road helping you in some way?
Well, you'd like to think every game you do that yeah. And again, I think we have a confident team. We you know, our guys work hard. They should expect good things, you know, but we keep talking about we've got to be better at it. You know, we've got to practice every day, like every possession matters, like every day matters. And but these guys as a group, they work hard. They've done the things we've asked them to do, but we can get a whole lot better. And can we play without certain guys? I think we can. That's where I said at the beginning of the year, we've got quality depth, and it's up to them to make us use that depth. And the way they do it is that they show every day that they're willing to buy into exactly what we need them to do. And if every guy on this team does that, we will play 10, 11 guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.